Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Punisher and the significance of this character in the MCU. There is a lot going on in regards to the plans for the Punisher. Kevin Feige really wants to implement this character in the MCU, and that's part of the reason why in the second episode of Daredevil Born Again, we saw some of the cops or corrupt cops have the Punisher tattoo on their wrist or on their neck. There is a lot more to this, and so we are going to be explaining all of this in today's video. But first of all, I do want to explain the Foggy Nelson situation because there has been so many questions about whether Foggy Nelson actually died or no. And if you looked at the scene where he did die, we saw Daredevil listen to his heartbeat, and his heartbeat was slowly beating away. So we're like, okay, he died, it's horrible, Matt Murdock no longer wants to be Daredevil, but is there a chance that Foggy Nelson could be faking his death? Because if we look at the address of the law firm where Nelson, Murdock, and Page were at, it is number 468. This is a very interesting Easter egg because this could also be referencing Daredevil number 468 titled The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson, where Foggy fakes his own death. So this whole thing could very much be intentional. And also, right, there has been a lot of speculation on why Karen has been acting so weird. Like for example, during Dex's court scene, could there be a possibility that Karen knows that Foggy is alive, and the reason why Karen is in San Francisco is because she is hiding with him in SF? And that could also explain the reason why she doesn't want to speak with Matt in private. Like if you look at that scene where they were talking in the hallway and you keep in that perspective of, okay, Karen knows that Foggy is alive, a lot of her expressions and what she says makes a lot of sense. Like, why does it feel like she's trying to cover something up, or she's trying to hide and step away from Matt's life? Like, is she hiding something that we don't know about? So everything does point towards Foggy being alive. In the comics, Foggy's decision to fake his own death and enter witness protection was primarily driven by the need for self-preservation, and the possible reason why he did fake his own death was because he knew that he was a target due to his connection with Matt Murdock, who is once again Daredevil, and Daredevil has made a lot of enemies along the way. Also, Foggy wanted to protect Matt from further harm or guilt. I don't know for sure if this storyline is going to be replicated on the Born Again series, but you get the general idea. There's a 99% chance that Foggy Nelson will be returning, and most likely it will be in season 2. So now going into the Punisher, right, there is going to be a Punisher show coming in the year of 2026, and it is going to be a Punisher special, very similar to what they did with Werewolf by Night or the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. It is going to be probably a 1 hour to 1 hour and 15-minute mini movie that can only be seen on Disney Plus. This is the reason why I did state that, you know, Kevin Feige has big plans for Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. This standalone Punisher special is going to be released alongside the second season of Daredevil Born Again, so there is going to be huge connections there. Now the reason why this is so important is because if you guys have seen what did happen during the second episode of Born Again, like we have stated, the cops or some corrupt cops do have the Punisher's symbol tattoo on them. So Marvel is already planting the seeds towards a potential Punisher show next year. This is also going to indicate that the Punisher is going to be having a huge role in Daredevil Born Again moving forward. Part of the reason why these cops do have this tattoo is because they do identify with the Punisher's nonsense approach to justice, which is going to be their way to justify their corrupt actions. These cops do see themselves as embodying the Punisher's brand of justice, hence the reason why in the train station scene, those cops were really punishing a criminal. They could also be framing innocent people or using violence as necessary to maintain order. They are still cops, right? It's just a different approach on how they do handle certain situations in the city. This is for sure going to be a way for the show to lean towards exploring the controversy of the Punisher symbol being misused and potentially setting up a conflict with Frank Castle. Like, that is basically what's going to happen between Matt Murdock and Frank, is when they do finally meet in the season, they're going to be talking about exactly that. Like, he'll ask him, did you send those cops? Do you know these people? Are you aware that these people are doing these things because of you? So it is a huge subplot. It's not just going to be a one and done scene for Frank and that's it. No, he's probably going to be there very consistently. The showrunner of Daredevil Born Again also had an interview with IGN, and this is what he said. Yes, that tattoo should be a hint. There is a Frank Castle storyline that is, I think, deep and rich and has been begging to be told. It was in one of the comics, but Frank's appearance is not random. It comes back to the idea of who is a vigilante, who is good, who's bad, and Frank is one of those incredible galvanizing characters. Then he stated, it is incredibly important. I think it's tackled really well, and I think Jon in particular knows how to voice that discussion probably better than anybody. Frank, the character, comes into our world with a purpose. That purpose is executed. Does it have something to do with these men that we see in that apartment? Yes. And let me tell you guys, this is only the beginning. Like, to see that some cops have the Punisher tattoo, to know that the Punisher is also going to be in Daredevil Born Again, and the fact that he's also going to have his own standalone mini movie on Disney Plus, is just the beginning. They're gonna be implementing the character much more. Like, for example, it's highly likely that he will also be in a movie and potentially in Thunderbolts 2. Thunderbolts is a team that's basically like the Avengers, but they don't have a moral code. They just do whatever they want, which really does reflect the character of the Punisher. Kevin Feige really wants to make the Thunderbolts a smash hit, and he wants the Thunderbolts to be in a way like the Avengers in terms of popularity. And the best way that you can do that is to include the Punisher, because the Punisher was also a member of the team back in the 2012 series that was led by Red Hulk, a character that we also just seen in Brave New World. He's not going to be the leader. I mean, like, in the comics, he was not the leader, but you just never know. Kevin Feige might change the storyline. Maybe the director might have a different image on what the Thunderbolts should look like in a few years from today, but for sure, the Punisher is going to be an added character to the Thunderbolts after we do see the first one. Don't even be surprised if we do see a post-credit scene for Thunderbolts that comes out later in May, and we see the Punisher making an appearance. As for the discussions on whether the Red Hulk is going to be the leader of the Thunderbolts, I don't think so. I do think that by the end of the movie, this is just speculation, but I do think that it is going to be Yelena who will be leading the team. Keep in mind that the most popular Thunderbolts team did have characters like Red Hulk, Deadpool, Elektra, and Agent Venom, which was part of Marvel's Marvel Now initiative. So there is a lot to look forward to. I am going to be making further videos about Daredevil Born Again when episode 3 does come out next week. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.